You've probably come across people who don't seem bad at all. People who come across as friendly, warm, and completely trustworthy. You'd never expect them to hurt you, but it turns out that behind that smiling face and those kind gestures, something much darker is hiding. Sociopaths don't show you their dark side. They always lead with their softest, most charming one. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 strange habits of a sociopath, so you can figure out if you've ever crossed paths with one. Stay with me, because this one's going to be eye-opening. And before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell, and drop a like. Let's get into it. Let's kick things off with number 10. They avoid leaving any kind of paper trail. With these people, nothing is ever clear-cut. They run from written agreements because once something's in writing, they can't change the story later. Everything is, "I'll let you know," or "we'll figure it out." Ask for clarity and they get annoyed or try to make you feel unreasonable. Ask for something in writing. If they dodge it, that's your red flag. So how do you protect yourself without starting a fight? Simple rule: no clarity, no action. You don't need to over-explain yourself. One line is enough. "I need this in writing before we move forward. Otherwise, let's just leave it." Because when someone needs ambiguity to operate, your job isn't to convince them, it's to walk away. Moving on to number 9. They have parallel lives, people who never meet. This shows up when someone keeps everything in separate compartments, running different versions of themselves depending on who they're with. They have a reason why no one ever compares notes, and they'll ask you to keep secrets that are really just protecting their contradictions. Suggest being open or bringing their worlds together, and you'll get excuses or a blow-up. So how do you protect yourself without the drama? Don't play along with the hiding. If something only works because you're keeping things under wraps, you're already part of the game. It comes down to this: if I have to hide things for this to work, I'd rather not be in it. Because trust is built on consistency, not compartments. That leads us right into number 8, the moral chameleon. They shift depending on who's watching. This pattern shows up when someone's values change based on who's in the room. Around one person, they're all ethics and integrity. Around another, they're ruthless. And it's not growth or nuance. It's strategic adaptation to gain ground. Look good or get the upper hand. That's why you'll notice things that just don't add up. One day they're talking about respect in the most polished way, and the next they're making fun of the most vulnerable person in the room when they think no one's paying attention. Today they preach loyalty. Tomorrow they brag about a betrayal like it was a power move. The point isn't that they're complicated, it's that their moral compass moves with the audience. The clearest way to spot it: watch them when there's no social benefit, when no one's clapping. When there's no reputation on the line, when there's nothing to gain. That's when the mask slips, or when real integrity shows up. And if you've ever been confused by this kind of person, that confusion is valid. Inconsistency is disorienting by design. How do you protect yourself without getting sucked in? Don't fall for the words. Watch what repeats in their actions. A phrase that keeps you grounded. I pay attention to what you do when no one's watching. Because when someone is truly consistent, they don't confuse you, and that protects you. Continuing down the list, number 7. They steal credit like it's second nature. They almost never come at you directly. They just quietly erase you. You pitch an idea and they repeat it louder, like it was theirs. You do the work and they take the credit. You'll recognize it in phrases like, "That's actually what I was thinking," said right after you said it. Or, "We figured it out," when you were the one who figured it out. State a fact calmly: "I handled this part." If the reaction is anger or dismissal, it was never a team, it was a transaction. Leave a trail. "I took care of X, I'll send you a message about it." Because healthy people celebrate your wins. Toxic ones feel threatened by them. That brings us straight to number 6. They treat risk like a badge of honor. With these people, chaos feels like adrenaline. They change plans at the last minute, push for snap decisions, and everything is right now. Immediately, let's go. If you're the cautious one, they'll make you feel bad for it. Like thinking things through means you're scared. If you've ever felt guilty for needing more time, you weren't being difficult, you were being sane. Tell them, "I need 24 hours." If they push back, that urgency wasn't real. It was about getting your compliance. I make decisions with a clear head. If it has to be yes or no right this second, then it's no. Because pressure doesn't prove reason, it proves control. And hey, is this hitting home? If it is, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a like. Let's keep going. Number 5. They brag about bending the rules like it's a personality trait. They boast about always getting their way, knowing how to work the system, and never being played for a fool. But this isn't just carelessness, it's a signal. When someone builds their identity around bending rules, they're telling you clearly, rules don't apply to me. And once you internalize that, it's only a matter of time before your boundaries become the next rule they decide to break. If you've ever felt uneasy admiring someone like this, trust that instinct. It's not judgment, it's self-preservation. Don't admire it, observe it. That's not something I get involved in. Because someone who brags about breaking the rules will eventually try to break yours. Now we're at number 4. Their word is made of foam. They commit with total confidence, but their promises dissolve. They say you can count on me and vanish right when it's time to show up. When you bring it up, they act like it's no big deal. They're not bothered by letting you down. They're bothered that you brought it up, making you look like the demanding one. Sure, and here's what's important. Needing someone to keep their word isn't demanding, it's basic. Don't let them reframe your standards as your flaw. Ask for a small commitment. If they drop the ball, the bigger ones never had any foundation either. How do you protect yourself without burning yourself out? Let reality do the talking and organize your life around facts, not promises. A phrase that serves you well. When it's confirmed, let me know. I plan based on what's actually happening, because reliability is shown, not promised. Now let's get into number 3. They scan you to see what you're worth to them. At first, their questions seem totally normal, but they're actually mapping you out. They're not trying to get to know you. They're looking for your network, your resources, and your limits. If they see value, they light up. If they don't, they go cold, because they've already filed you away. And if you've been used like this before, it wasn't because you were naive, it was because you were open, and they exploited that. Respond neutrally without offering anything, and see if they lose interest. How do you protect yourself without becoming paranoid? Keep it short. Don't hand over the full manual of your life. You can stay calm but firm with something like, I can't commit to anything right now. I'll circle back. Because the rush usually isn't about real urgency. It's a way to bypass your own judgment. Don't go anywhere. We're heading into number 2. They cross your boundaries like it's totally normal. They don't ask for permission. They just take. Your phone, your time, your space, your privacy, all of it with an unsettling naturalness. Oh, like it's their right. They change plans without warning. And if you call it out, they flip it back on you. Set a boundary and they'll either turn it into a joke to diffuse it or blow it up into drama so you end up apologizing. And if you've ever apologized for someone else's violation of your space, that's the pattern working exactly as designed. Say no to something small and watch what happens. How do you protect yourself without getting tangled up? With a short, direct boundary, no discussion needed. A phrase that works, don't touch my things without asking. Because a short boundary is easy to understand. And if it's not respected, that tells you everything you need to know about what kind of relationship this is. And finally, we close with number 1. They try to make you their accomplice. And even if it starts as a joke, this is the most dangerous one. Because it doesn't just affect you, it pulls you into their system. It starts with little setups that seem harmless. Just say you didn't see me there. Cover for me real quick. Just act like you didn't notice. And if you hesitate or say no, they've got 3 very predictable moves. They laugh it off, they guilt you, or they turn it into a loyalty test with lines like, you're so dramatic, or I'd do it for you. They're not asking for a favor, they're testing whether they can move your line. And once you give in once, the next ask almost always comes bigger. Hold the no, don't explain it, don't justify it, don't negotiate. If they push, pressure, or take offense, it was never trust. It was control wearing a friendly face. How do you protect yourself? With a short, a complete boundary. No, that's not something I do. And hold on to this final rule. Whoever gets angry at your boundary wasn't looking for closeness. They were looking for permission. And that's a wrap. If you recognize several of these in the same person, it's not just a bad day, it's a pattern. And here's a question that can save you years. Does being around this person leave you feeling more at ease or more confused, more free or more pressured? Let me know in the comments which number hit closest to home. And if you want a part 2 with subtler signs in the workplace, relationships and family, just type part 2. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't yet. See you next time.